Hi, my name is Al Green. Not that one, but the struggling guy who was in the music industry for years trying to sell talent and songs to agents. The agents befriended me and taught me techniques that I want to pass on to you through my program, which is called You Can Talk, You Can Sell. Anyone who has ever taken this program has excelled in selling and either risen to the top of their company, their team, or the top of their field. It's called You Can Talk, You Can Sell, and you can get it right here. Are you consistently innovating? You know, for years and years and years, advertisers and people who sell products always come up with new ideas and ways to get people's attention to sell their products. And I don't mean an infomercial or something like a TV show. I'm talking about whatever works. There used to be, for example, a lot of years of ads on television where the people were saying, I'm crazy to cut prices this low. Come and get this, whatever it is, for the lowest price you'll ever pay in your entire life. And that was, at the time, it was something new. But, you know, the story goes that when you come up with new ideas, the whole purpose is to get your attention. I was at a movie recently, one of the most popular movies in the last month and a half, where if you don't know the movie, I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but basically the main actor is on screen talking to the audience, explaining to them that I want to thank you for coming to see my movie on the big screen. And I hope you enjoy it. And it's great that you're here, etc., and thank you very much. And then they start rolling the opening sequence to the movie. I can't tell you how impressed I was, because by word of mouth, I was telling people, you have to see this film, not because of that sequence, but because they'll see it on their own. And it made a different impact because you felt like you had a bit of a rapport with this character, who then went on to be a major part of the story, if not the part of the story itself, and you feel like you could relate to him. It's just, it took literally maybe 30 seconds for that video to play before the movie. But if you get my drift, what I'm saying is that, hey, what are we all doing? We're all working to sell and be effective. All of us are simply trying to replace the humdrum of salespeople and make it an innovative and fresh approach that will grab people's attention and hold them so that you can bond with them and build a rapport. And a little bit of creativity doesn't hurt. But at the same time, by reading the books on selling, talking to the people who have been to the seminars, going to the seminars yourself, or listening to them on recording, they will give you plenty of ideas that are not necessarily your ideas, but they're creative. And you can use these ideas to push your product in any way you can. One of the ones that I picked up from a book was called The Empty Envelope. And it was a series of envelopes that you send to the person you're trying to get in touch with, who's basically ignoring you. I tried with one customer for over a month to get their attention. And I was told by the secretary, he will call you back. And I never got the call back. Or one time she said, call him tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So at 2 o'clock, I called, thinking I had an appointment. And as it turned out, he didn't come to the phone. So I realized this guy is going to completely ignore me. Using the technique I learned from a book, which was to be innovative on the approach, I started sending him the empty envelopes. I'd have my name on the return address and his name on the mail to address. And I would mail these by snail mail. And then at the time, when you opened up the envelope, there was a little coin envelope inside. You know, the smaller envelopes that you used to put coins. And if you don't know what they are, they're small, kind of yellowish envelopes. They're about this big, and they fit inside of a standard business envelope. So I sent him one of those. And I waited a few days, and then I called the company and I said to the secretary, did Mr. S receive the envelope I sent? And she goes, yes, I gave it to him, it's on his desk. Still no response. So this time I sent out a full-size legal envelope, the big ones that are about yay big. I don't know how big that is. They're about so big. And I put a regular business size envelope inside that was empty. Again, sending it to him. Within a couple days, still no response. I called to get him on the phone, still no response. So I sent him another coin envelope inside of a regular number 10 business envelope. This would have been the third time. Funny as it worked, his secretary called me, and she said, Mr. S would like to speak with you. And I said, okay. So I got on the phone with him, and he said to me, what's with the envelopes? And I said, oh, you don't know? And he goes, no, I haven't got a clue. I said, okay, this is an extremely important thing I have to convey to you for your business. Would you agree to meet with me? And he was so curious, he said yes. So he invited me to go to lunch, where not only did I have lunch with him, but he offered to pick up the tab and treat me to lunch, which I thought was amazing because I was trying to get his business. What happened was, when he said to me, because I was trying to get a job with this company, he said to me, well, what's with all the empty envelopes? I said, oh, they were empty? He goes, yeah. I said, wait a minute, so you opened them up and what was inside? And he said, nothing. And I said, okay, you opened up the envelopes and there was nothing inside. I said, you realize that's what you're going to get if you do not bring me in to work with your company. And he laughed. He said, I can't believe you went to that much trouble. I said, it was no trouble at all. In fact, it was a lot of fun. And he goes, well, I like that kind of spirit. So next thing you know, I had a very serious meeting with him at his office, and he hired me to take over the position of sales consultant. The plan worked. Now, this was not my idea, but it was an innovative plan. It was an idea that I got out of a book. So you don't have to be the creative person that creates all these great new ideas. All you have to do is use a technique that's not commonly used to get their attention. Now, once you have their attention, it's pretty much up to you as to what you're going to do with it once you get them to sit down with you or spend time with you talking. My recommendation, the people that I'm talking to are consultative salespeople who only meet people in person. You don't do your business over the phone unless you've established a rapport. And there's many other things that are taught in the Six-Figure Selling System Masterclass. But the point is that not everything that you come up with that will be creative has to be from you. You can use techniques that I teach you, techniques that you get out of books, anything you can to be different and make sure that you get their attention, and that's the whole idea. When you're out there in the world and you're selling to people, you realize in some places they get hit on by salespeople consistently. They get emails, they get phone calls. I can't tell you how many spam calls I would get on my phone. So I put in a spam blocker, and I still get calls. Okay, these people are tenacious, but they're not going to get my attention because there is absolutely nothing that I want to hear. Okay? If they did something absolutely crazy, they might get my attention. There was one story after another of people who did wild things to get the attention, including, as crazy as this might sound, a guy who rented an elephant, had it trailered to the front of a major corporation that he wanted to get to the CEO, and he had a trainer bring the elephant to the front door of this particular company. And he went inside and they could see through this big glass partition window that there was an elephant out there. And the guy said to the receptionist, I'm here to see Mr. Jones. And she said, he doesn't take appointments. And he said, well, exactly how do I bring the elephant in so we can wait in the lobby for him? Crazy as that sounds, the secretary, a receptionist, got on the phone and called the bank. It wasn't the bank, it was the president. She called the president of this large institution and said, you need to come down here. Guess what? He came down there. Now, what does that tell you? That's how desperate the guy was to get the attention of the CEO. Well, he got his attention, and he managed to explain why he had the elephant, and he sent the elephant away, and then said, it's that important that I do business with you, because I cannot let you continue the way you're going without my service. And the bank, I'm saying bank president because it was a banking institution. The president said, okay, fine. I'll give you 5 minutes to state your case. So he invited him inside. He went up to his office. And the guy himself said, okay, 5 minutes. I'll tell you what. I promise you I will not exceed 5 minutes. I'm going to take off my watch and I'm going to hand it to you. So he took his watch off and he said, I'm going to set this in front of you. And the time was about 11 o'clock. And he said to the bank president, if I exceed 5 minutes, it's because you are interested in what I have to say and you don't want to send me away yet. Are you ready? And the bank president said, or the banking president said, yes. And he put the watch on his desk facing him. And he started his spiel. And he started to talk. And at that point, he had a timer, separate timer like you have on a cell phone. And he was timing it. And in about 5 minutes and 15 seconds, he said to the president, should I continue? And the president said, please, go on, go on. He said, okay, I just want you to know I'm keeping an eye on the time. And the president said, that's okay, and he handed him his watch back. He ended up spending 15 minutes with the man. And the man booked an appointment for him to meet with his buyers and his consultants. And they ended up taking the contract that he was selling because he was crazy enough to rent an elephant to take to the front door of this particular organization. It was a very funny story. So you don't have to rent elephants to do this, but wouldn't it be funny if you came up with something equally as crazy, okay? Join me in the masterclass, The Six-Figure Selling System, and then I will see you on my next lesson.